In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can hook up a CD player to your Sonos wireless sound system. So you may have decided to buy a Sonos sound system, which is really neat because you can wirelessly stream all your music through whatever speakers you have in your house that are these Sonos speakers, whether you have a traditional amplifier hooked up to a Sonos Connect, whether you have some Sonos 5s, Sonos 1s, whatever the case may be, you can pick and choose which speakers you're going to be playing your streaming music to. Now, you might be wondering, well, what if I have a CD player that I would like to play CDs on that I can distribute to whichever speakers I want in my house? So today I'm going to be showing you how you can set that up. Now the CD player that I'm going to be using to do this is this new SMSL PL100 CD player. It's a modern CD player that is rather affordable. Now you could do the same setup with an old CD player that you've had for 10, 20, even 30 years. It would be the same way. But this is just a new version of a CD player that's out there right now that I highly recommend. So if you want to learn more about that, go ahead and click on the link in the video and you can learn more about this CD player. So now to be able to do this, you will need to have a Sonos speaker that has a line input. Basically, it needs to accept a connection like this. Now, I'm going to be doing it here on a Play 5, or on a 5, sorry. There are other models of speakers that are more affordable than a 5 that you can do this with. I'm going to put a link down in the description below to all the different Sonos speakers that do accept a line input so that you can use this setup with any of those speakers. Okay, so now let's get to the physical connections that are going to have to take place. It's very simple, to be honest. You can take your CD player. Now you won't be able to use any of the digital outputs. This is purely analog. So you can take your RCA connector and come out of the CD player here. And then you will go over to your Sonos speaker. The other end of the cord will look like this. If we can focus, there we go. The other end will look like this, and that will just plug in to the back of your Sonos speaker. And now those are all the physical connections that you'll have to make. Okay, so once you get all the physical connections made between your speaker and your CD player, then you can go ahead and go into your Sonos app. Now, I'm assuming you already have the Sonos app and you're using it, and I'm just going to show you how you add an input device like a CD player to one of the speakers and get that set up. So to do that, you go up to the gear in the upper right hand corner, then you scroll down to the speaker that you have your CD player plugged into. In this case, I have it called Sonos 5. So I tap on that, and then you can rename it here if you choose. And then you can go down and set up your source name. You can tap on that. You can name it whatever you want. In this case, I have it named CD player. So let's go back. Now you want to set up your source level. Now, this will take a little bit of trial and error. But what I wanted was when a CD is playing, I wanted that to play at the same volume as when I'm streaming music. So that way when I switch between the sources, one isn't louder than the other. So for me, in my particular setup here, level 8 works well. Now you may want to experiment with that, but that would be a place to start. So let's click back. And now we have this setting called audio delay. Now this is interesting because I think it's going to default you to 2000 milliseconds. So that's the amount of delay you're going to get when you hit play on the CD player until it starts streaming through your system. Now you might at first say, well, I just want that to be as low as possible. Well, if you run into any sort of buffering issues or any skipping and things going on, you're going to want to increase that until those problems go away. In my case, I have good results at the high setting, 150 milliseconds, and I don't really have any reason to jump way up to the 2000 milliseconds. I kind of wished it was another, few in between there somewhere. But in any case, 150 milliseconds works well in my case. That is also something that you will want to experiment with. So let's go back. Another setting that there is the autoplay. Now what's nice about autoplay is it can detect as soon as you hit play on the CD player, it'll detect that and start playing it on the speakers that you set up here to start playing on. You don't have to go into the app and select the line input each time when you want to play a CD. So you might be streaming and then you want to switch over to CD. All you literally have to do is hit play on the CD player and it'll start playing through the speakers. You don't have to select the CD player on the inputs. Now you can if you want to, but in this case, the autoplay works pretty well. And another nice thing about autoplay is you can set the autoplay volume. So you may have had it cranked up earlier playing something on streaming, and now you want to switch to a CD, or maybe it's the next day, the next morning, you want to listen to a CD. You may have been partying the night before, and in the morning you want it kind of quiet. If you have an autoplay volume set lower, it'll just automatically start playing at that lower volume then, rather than that high volume you might have been playing at the night before. So that is also a nice feature. You need to pick an autoplay room. So when you tap on that, you pick the room that it's going to autoplay in. Now you can't have it autoplay in all of these all at the same time. You have to then go in and select those other rooms. But in this case, it just starts playing on the one speaker. So in this case, I always want it to start on my Sonos 5, and then I'll go into the app and I'll add other rooms if I want to. If I already had rooms grouped together in Sonos that included the 5, it would play in those group rooms also, as you can see here, because I have that turned on. But I would have had to go in and have them grouped already, and then it would start doing that. So I prefer to just start playing on the one speaker, then add the other ones as I wish. And that's pretty much all you need to do on your setup in your app in order for this to work. Okay, so now I want to show you how you can just start playing the CD player in a particular location. Like if you had autoplay turned off, or if you did not want to autoplay to the Play 5. So you just swipe up from the bottom, and then you pick the speaker that you want it to play in. In this case, let's pick the garage. And then, unlike what you may have done in the past and select a streaming service that you want it to play from, you just scroll to the section that's called Line In, and then you pick your line in source. I have another source. I have a turntable hooked up somewhere else. But in this case, I'm going to just select CD player, and now it's going to start playing the CD in the garage. So now let's go ahead and show you how you can be streaming, and then if I just go ahead and hit play on the CD player, it'll just start playing the CD. So this is streaming right now. Let's hit play. And now it instantly, well, not instantly, it took about 2 seconds, but it just switches right over to the line in automatically without having to do anything in the app. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope it helped you understand how to connect your CD player to your Sonos system. Please leave a comment, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.